Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bridge. Things looking much sunnier in every regard right now here at Chelsea Football Club. We'll have the team news for you shortly for this home game with Everton. Jason Cundy is looking forward to it. Hi Jay.
Good afternoon everyone, good afternoon Benjamin.
Funny, isn't it, football? Quite a lot can happen in not very much time. I was just thinking on the way up here today, the start of this season when we last saw Everton, it was Tuchel's Blues edging past Frank's Toffees with a Jorginho scruffy penalty to nil, and no one of any of them is involved anymore. We'll find out soon enough who is when it's Potter versus Dyche and probably Kai Havertz on penalties, I would think. But this won't be easy, will it? Because we know what Sean Dyche teams do.
No,
and we know that Chelsea have struggled to break down sides that play a bit like Sean Dyche teams do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Benjamin. And look, Sean Dyche is a brilliant coach, a brilliant manager. He gets a lot of flack, but don't listen to that noise, because let me tell you now, they're not going down. So everyone talks about from where Crystal Palace are all the way down to the bottom of the table. There's 5 points between Palace and the bottom of the table. Let me tell you now, there is no way Everton are going down. Sean Dyche is too good. The squad is better than where it should be. This will be a tough game. They'll take a point. But what they do, they do very well. When they're in front, they're stubborn, they're hard, they're really difficult. So the first goal is always absolutely crucial. But it feels like today, if we don't get the first goal, maybe even it's 0-0 after, I don't know, 50, 60 minutes, the crowd might get a little bit impatient. The players have got to stay patient, because we know what we're going to be up against. Defensively solid, and set pieces is probably where they're going to look at. They're the moment. Can they break it down in normal play? I don't think they can. Set pieces, Tarkowski and his gang, yes.
Direction. 3 straight wins.
Well, we'll see soon enough. It's a 5:30 kick-off, which means that the team news is out right now, and it is interesting. Your main headlines as we look at it there is that Reece James is back in. Christian Pulisic starts for the first time since the first game of this year when he limped off early against Manchester City. And incidentally, the third headline, N'Golo Kanté is back on the Chelsea bench. We haven't seen him since August. Welcome back, N'Golo. So it is Kerr in goal for Fana Koulibaly and Badiashile, who is in for Cucurella. Reece James and Chilwell, the fullbacks. We know how important that is. Between them, Enzo and Kovacic. I want to talk about those two in a minute, Jason. João Felix, Christian Pulisic, Kai Havertz. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the team, I think, kind of picks itself, I'm not, now that Reece is back, the 3 at the back for me is crucial. And over Potter's time here, I think there's been a lot of problems he's had to face and encounter, whether it be injuries, largely, whether it be the odd suspension, it has happened. And I think eventually he's now got to the 3 at the back. He started the year, if you remember, with a 4. He wanted to go 4. I always felt that a 3, with what we've got, is the best solution, because you've got to get your best. Here's what the manager's got to do: get the best players in their best positions to get the best performance out of the best team. And I feel like now he's finding a formula, he's finding a way. Reece is our best player, as far as I'm concerned, or has been. Chilwell, you got those 2 players at it, high and wide. All of a sudden, shape now starts to look like a 3 at the back. Well, it has to be, because you can't really have that as a 4 at the back unless you have a defensive midfielder that's prepared to really sit and just be that. With the 3 at the back, Koulibaly's now really starting to produce the sort of form that we saw over a number of years, I should say, at Napoli. Enzo's come in, and N'Golo's on his way back. Now you start to think, Mudryk can't get into the team. Mace has got an injury. I always like to see Mace on the team sheet in one shape or another. And now it feels to me, Ben, that he has found the form, he's found the shape. Now, coach this team in this shape, and whoever comes in, it's not like someone's gone out of a back 3, next week it's a 4. Training, Cucurella's got to go from a left back to a left-hand side centre-off. Feels like we're now starting to get some bit of stability, which is a word that hasn't often been used around at Stamford Bridge for at least a year.
And alongside Koulibaly, the return to fitness and straight back in of Fofana. We like Badiashile next to him if it's not Cucurella. It is Badiashile today. And Enzo Fernandez and Kovacic, I wonder, 3 wins in a row, Jason, for the first time since October. And those 2 have started all 3 of those games next to one another. And they're in there again today, and I think there's got to be something in that. Now, to our 3 points for 3 points today. The first one, you mentioned it there a little bit. Ben Chilwell, continue to get him involved. We know the numbers when him and Reece play together, it's good. We want them getting high and wide. How do we keep getting him high and wide?
Well, the way that Everton will play is probably a very low block. They'll condense the area that Chelsea want to operate in.
Well, that should allow him to do it then.
Well,
in theory, if they go narrow with a 4.
Well, I wouldn't surprise me if they go with a 5 across the middle of the park today, or something similar to maybe a 4-5-1 or something like that. And stop. Now, it's a question for you. If you're managing against Chelsea, how do you set your team up?
Like you just said, 4-5-1.
Away from home?
Yeah,
right?
Certainly here.
And Sean Dyche? That's got Sean Dyche's fingerprints all over it. So what then you've got to try and do is move the ball quickly, because there will be moments you can't sit in that formation. And something that we've all been critical of, not just this season but seasons in the past, where you don't move the ball quick enough. Set piece, right? Maybe Kerr comes out and catches it, brings the ball in. Can we then spring the trap? Or does Kerr hold it and wait for players, and then all of a sudden they're back in the shape? Move the ball quickly. The quicker you move the ball and the quicker you move it forward, their shape, they can't get into it, Ben. You start rolling the ball out the edge of the box on the left or right, you watch them get back in their shape. They'll love that.
Yeah, especially a team like Everton. It probably goes for everybody, but absolutely one that's built on organisation, which is what we're going to see from the Oppo here today. Point 2 then, and I suppose with space at a premium in a game like this becomes even more relevant. Playing to Kai's strengths, because he's not a 9. We've essentially got 2 number 10s, right? In him and João Felix.
We see him play with sometimes 3 and maybe 4 number 10s at any given moment.
And in terms of getting the most out of him, I thought he's been really good again recently, Kai. And João Felix has probably been Chelsea's best player since he signed, possibly. I mean, yeah. But Kai in particular, I thought the Dortmund game, the Leicester game, you're seeing what he's got that's good, where we hadn't for a while.
Yeah. But again, teams like that, they kind of allow you to play a little bit. You know, Leicester, they're a ball-playing team. Dortmund, they're going to give you space. Yeah. We saw in the first leg, actually, how much space and time you...
And today, chances, therefore, yeah.
Yes. Today, it's going to be different. And I go back to the point I made originally. You move that ball quickly, and it's all about Kai's movement as well, because he's not a Didier Drogba, he's not a Costa. He's a different type of player, but he brings something else to the party. What I've loved about Kai at the moment is actually his involvement of bringing players in around him. And his movement, he's happy to go out into these wide areas, which what that does, it leaves space to go and to penetrate where he leaves. And that comes down to the training ground. It comes down to minutes on the pitch, experienced players playing together, enjoying one another's company, knowing when. So if Kai makes that run, who's going to make that? Can Cover go and join? Can Cover be that man that the goal that we the third goal? You look at that. Look at what Kai does. Comes out to their right, their left, our right, and he turns, but the ball goes in. Cover's run. He's occupied the space that Kai leaves. There's that joined up thinking. That's what happens on the training ground. Can we get more and more of that, please?
And there was it was an inevitability, that especially with so many new signings coming in, that this would take a little while. But once they've had a few games together and that settled selection we're talking about there, that does make a difference. And definitely in central midfield with Enzo and captain Cover as he is at the moment. Our third point here, I thought last week, we talked after the game, that the sort of mental fragility, if you like, we've seen a little bit of that. And after Leicester got level last week, I know Chelsea scored right before half-time, but actually you felt like Leicester were going to. And so I'm going to talk about reacting better if we do concede, because it wasn't a good reaction. It was almost like when you've got that fragile confidence, we've conceded, and sort of back into your shells, because you thought Leicester were going to get a second goal before half-time last week for sure, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I felt once they went 1-1 and the next 3 or 4 minutes of the game, their tails were up. And we looked a bit like a rabbit in headlights, Ben.
Needed half-time, funnily enough.
Yeah, we did. And I felt if there was going to be a goal in the next team to score a goal in that game, I couldn't see it being us. Honestly, I couldn't. A piece of brilliance from Enzo and a wonderful finish from Kai. But what I would love to see is us to accept there's been a disappointment, and the fact we've played well, we've been the better team, and we deserve to be in front. And do you know what? things can happen in football matches. You know, you can be the best team for 90 minutes and concede in the last. You can be the best team for the first 15, 20 and concede the first goal. How do you react to that? And I felt that our reaction, we looked fragile, Ben. I felt we looked like a team that was struggling for a bit of confidence. And that shouldn't happen. That's just one goal in their first 30 minutes, 35 minutes when they scored. It's one goal, we've been the better team. I think we've got to try and keep that real, keep the fact that we are and have been the better side. A moment's up, it's a brilliant strike. Enzo makes a mistake. It's a brilliant strike from Daka. In it goes. Let's regroup, boys. We've been the better team here. I'd like to see a bit more of that.
Yeah, don't want to be knocked quite so easily, especially when it's good. But obviously every win builds it, doesn't it? It's 3 wins in a row for the first time since October. 3 goals in a game for the first time since October as well, Jason. So it's a very long time. And it's the first away win for the first time since October. What happened in the middle of October,
I don't know, Ben. Let's go back there. Let's continue October. What can we call it? Where are we now?
March.
No, Ben, we're in October.
Right, it's October. Right then, just a reminder, folks, that wherever Chelsea Football Club and their fans go, Trivago is there to bring us all together on match days. The Wherever You Go wall is presented by official club partner Trivago. And wherever you are in the world, you can send in a selfie and a message of support for the Blues and let us know where you're doing it. Tweet in using the hashtag Wherever You Go, and we'll be showing you some of those later. Now for a little change of tack, here's Sam.
So I'm here with Soraya pitch side. Technically, we were on the pitch earlier and we got soaked. You're not going to see it because it's in the back. And the back of Soraya, the first introduction to being pitch side at Stamford Bridge. How are you doing anyway?
I'm really good. We're on a sunny day when it was hailstorming earlier, so I think that's a good sign ahead of the match tonight. But I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm happy to be standing next to you. You know, you was able to win such an amazing prize of BCOM's the bursary. Can you explain a little bit about that?
So I'm a part of BCOMS, which is the Black Collective of Media and Sport, and the mission is just diversifying sports media, basically, and just having the thoughts of the fans in the world and culture integrate into what that means to be media. So what we did was BCOMS partnered up with Chelsea, and Chelsea said, yeah, we'll fund a journalism course so you can get accreditation, and we'll provide with these amazing opportunities so you can really build your portfolio and become the sports journalist, presenter, writer you want to be. So that was sort of the introduction to the programme.
How have you found this week? Because you've had an amazing week. You spoke to a few players. You know, you've been around the place. You know, you've had weeks that people dream of. How was that?
It's been a dream. It's been lovely. It's nice to be able to go down, and by the way, I'm a Chelsea fan, so it makes it another level where I get to go down to Cobham and speak to players from the men and women's team, which I think is really important to highlight how amazing our women's team is and the progress that we've made there. So I got to speak to Fran Kirby and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, both absolute stars and pleasures to interview off the pitch. And for me, it was just, I like to talk about uncomfortable topics or topics that are not normally discussed on primetime television in fun and innovative ways. And I really felt like the quiz and talking about culture and chicken shops and Reading and all of these things would be interesting to the fans.
How important would you say that type of opportunity is for someone like yourself that, you know, is learning the craft, but is also able to be thrown in a situation like that and genuinely thrive?
I think it's a priceless opportunity. I think, like you said, anyone, regardless of background, having this opportunity and access to players and to work with a club of this stature is priceless for your portfolio and for your career to really push your trajectory. And for me, it's not only having these opportunities, but like you said, thriving. And I think reinstating my belief in myself, like, yeah, you're meant to do this. This is what you're meant to do. So it was great to have that support, that belief, and the end content come out exactly how I wanted it to come out. So I think, like I said, being able to demonstrate on behalf of my community and our community that there's so much exceptional talent that we haven't seen yet, and pushing the door down and widening it a bit.
Amazing. Now, how important would you say weeks like this, you know, today is a game of equality for equality. How important are games like this, you know, to highlight such important issues like you just mentioned?
I mean, Games for Equality Week, the Chelsea Foundation do absolutely so much work. They focus on LGBTQI+, religious tolerance, racism, women participation participation in sports, and being able to not only speak about it and host a platform for people like us to discuss this, but there's actual action behind it. So, you know, having 5,000 women come in and get into sports, Chelsea are doing that. Giving people like me opportunities to come in and really broadcast what talent there is, Chelsea are doing that. Having the refugees today that Chelsea are working with alongside Hammersmith Council to come in, and Fulham, to really endorse what we're doing, and not just having a shout about it, because you should. We believe in the work that we're doing. So I think it's an exceptional week. I think it's an exceptional opportunity for fans to learn more about how invested the club is in society, and that's what makes us the pride of London.
Amazing. I love the way you did that. That was genuinely amazing. So what are you actually doing here today then in terms of the work? I know you're going to be in the press box. What does that consist of? That
consists of watching the match, writing down absolutely everything that occurs, taking some personal content, and basically networking, speaking to other journalists, seeing what's happened, seeing what the leading stories are. But for me, it's more of the environment of coming down, and also 25% being a fan, coming down to see my team win. But it's a very interesting environment, and a lot of people know what the press access looks like, and that's also something that I'm trying to break down on my personal channels of this is what it looks like to get to here. So it's a really interesting day, and like I said, it's sunny. You can't complain in the press box.
Amazing. So what is next for you, and obviously the bursary, because I know that the conversation and the relationship is going to continue with Chelsea. What have you planned next?
I think from my personal point of view, I plan to have a lot more creative content like the one I just posted, a lot more opportunities to show diversity of thought and content in terms of being creative. How can we structure interviews in a different way and make it fun? How can we interview in a very strange place? What features can we do? What other channels can we do? I think these things can be explored. Partnerships. Working together more, and things like that. So for me, it's just continuing at such a high standard that we set from the start of how can we continue to diversify and blend disability, race, religion, and blend the talent on the pitch and make a change. Amazing,
amazing. So that is amazing work. Now I want you to put your Chelsea hat on. I want to actually ask you about Chelsea Everton today. What is your expectations? Obviously a free win streak. Are we going to continue that today?
I feel like we're on a bounce. As a fan, I think my confidence is quite high in terms of I think we'll go out and get the basics right. We'll press, we'll defend well. We should have a lot of shots on target. I expect a dominant performance at home. The rain has gone away. The sun has come in. So I feel like it's time for us to put another dominant display on. The Champions League win, I think, really gave the squad the belief and the togetherness that was needed. And we've had players like Ben Chilwell come out and say, yeah, we're working, we're gelling, we're making an effort, believe in us. So I'm believing, and I'm believing we're going to take the 3 points.
Amazing, amazing. That's the energy that we want. And of course, we can't stop without showing you guys the interview with Fran Kirby and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It's next.
Reece James. Yes! Reece James, Lauren James.
You got 10 points for the game. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Here comes Wrighton. This is Kirby. It's in. Loftus-Cheek.
Fran Kirby and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'll start with the first question, which is quite lightweight. It's, what is the name? I think you're going to find this so random.
God.
What is the name of the festival that takes place in West London every August to celebrate Caribbean heritage?
Carnival.
What carnival? Ruben, I swear you're Caribbean as well.
Yeah, but just call it Carnival, isn't it?
Okay, I'll give you the 10 points. It's Notting Hill Carnival.
Oh, yeah, of course.
How about you? No, you just changed festival to carnival. That can't be a point.
Next question. I'm going to use your brain a little bit more. So I'm going to ask this question for the men and the women's team. So firstly for the men's, what country is represented the most in your current team?
Oh.
Besides England?
Spain?
Very close. Spain is one of them.
Yeah, I was going to say
Tied for
that.
2 countries.
Spain.
So what other languages do you hear up in the changing room a lot?
French, yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
There's France
Yeah.
and Spain. What country is most represented in the women's team? I'm seeing the smirk, Ruben. I'm seeing the stress.
I want to say Swedish.
You're right.
Yes.
Love that. Love that you paid attention. All right, next question. The first Chelsea float represented the club at Pride in London. What year was this?
2019.
Incorrect. It was last year.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Had the first Chelsea float, everyone was on it.
Oh, that's really cool.
I wanted to ask you both individually, what do you think has sort of changed the most in your time being within the club?
I think mine's going to be very drastic to yours. The changes.
What's changed the most?
Yeah.
From when I first went into the first team, it was I felt quite alone when I was over there. There was a young kid coming over, and it was that competitive environment that was quite daunting. Nowadays, with the young boys coming over, it's we got open arms, we want them to succeed, and it's very much like a family kind of vibe.
It must be very fulfilling for you to not have had that and being able to provide that for the other academy players as well. Fran?
For me, everything, I think, has changed down there. I think coming into an environment where we didn't have changing rooms, you know, turn up with your water bottles and you put it on the side of the pitch, and you know, you had 2 sets of training kit, you had to take home and wash it yourself, and now obviously we've got a full building down there with our own changing room, and we have a lot more different nationalities in the team. Really eye-opening to see the changes through the years, and when I look back now, like I said, we didn't even have changing rooms, so yeah, it's really special.
We're going to go for another light-hearted question. I'm looking at you, Ruben. What is the famous South London chicken shop called? No clue.
No.
It is Morley's.
Morley's?
You don't know what Morley's is?
No.
Absolutely shocking. Okay, so I'm going to move on to some music and fashion questions. First question is, what UK rapper filmed scenes for his music video in Stamford Bridge last year?
No.
It wasn't Stormzy.
No. Damn it. Cut that out.
You're in this similar ballpark. You know who it is. You want to know?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, it's Central C.
Oh.
Okay.
I was going to ask you, there's been a lot of debates about music performances, and obviously Rihanna just did the Super Bowl. So what UK artist would you both put in your halftime show?
Could it be people who aren't alive anymore?
Yeah.
Queen.
Ooh. That'd have to be in Wembley. Absolutely sold
FA
out
Cup is
everywhere.
at Wembley.
Yeah, Wembley sold out. Ruben?
I think the artist I like might not be appropriate.
I want to know now.
But I actually like Ed Sheeran. Yeah, I'd say Ed Sheeran.
A little bit of Shape of You at half time.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
the vision. Yeah. I see the vision. What US rapper was surprised by Ashley Cole with a tour of the bridge?
I was going to say Drake, but that was a while ago. Yeah.
He had a song called First Class that was on the radio everywhere.
Yeah.
Fran, you got like one of the first points of the quiz. Well done. Last question in the sort of fashion bit. What Chelsea player has a collab that celebrates the spirit of his country with Clarks?
Raheem Sterling.
Congratulations, you've got the second points of the quiz.
You need to be quicker with the answer.
No.
Because I can hear
I feel like it clicked in his head, but you said it straight away.
Yeah.
Now we're on to the 3 final questions of the quiz, and they're called the firsts.
Okay. I need to try and get a point.
You need to. Who was the first black manager to win the FA Cup?
No idea. No.
Rude Gillett.
Okay.
Oh.
I know you know it, but it was racking in your brain a bit. Who was the first female footballer to be on the global edition of FIFA?
Was it Sam Kerr?
It was Sam
Yeah,
Kerr. It was Super Sam Kerr. And the last question is, who became the first brother and sister to play for the England senior squad?
Reece James. Yes! Reece James, Lauren James.
You got 10 points for the game. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. What do you think the world can learn from football?
Inclusion. In every aspect. Male, female, sexuality, race. There's still a long way to go outside of clubs in terms of fan bases, in terms of rivalries. But I think if everyone feels that football is a safe environment for them, then that's the way it should be.
I think we have a big responsibility on us. I don't think we realise how big we impact the world and young kids who want to play football. We have to, take that responsibility to show the way of what's right, and the right way is no discrimination. Everyone's the same and anyone can play the sport.
I do believe that football can solve a lot of our issues, and if we take it more seriously and unite more as fans and as clubs, we can definitely make a bigger impact on a larger scale. So thank you both. Fran, you're the quiz winner. Congratulations. Ruben, you got 10 points. You answered one question right, and you didn't get any questions that you should have got right. It's a draw. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Supporting Chelsea means supporting equality. It means we're all in this together.
Football isn't just about one person playing, it's literally about everyone that takes part.
The confidence that Gianni has now is tremendous. The Chelsea Foundation is just fantastic.
Because if you wear our badge, you share our values. Acceptance, tolerance, generosity, ambition, and more. That's what being a Blue is all about. For us, community is everything. Chelsea is a global family, and all the better for it. We're a club that reaches people from all walks of life.
Females can play professional football, yes we can, and we can play on the biggest stage, and we'll continue to do that.
On and off the pitch, we strive to be the best, the fairest, the most inclusive. And we're proud of that. Everyone is welcome at Chelsea because our differences are what's made this club the success that it is. And that will continue for generations to come.
I need to go to the barber again. Yeah, I think it was a good goal. I mean, I saw Enzo that he looked at me. I mean, the pass was also perfect. So yeah, I thought it was offside, but at the end I scored. So yeah, it was a good goal. Pass was very, very good. I mean, we know he can, or he has these passes in the in the locker. So yeah, it was a very, very good pass, and he has a lot of qualities on the ball. So perfect pass for me. Obviously, 3 games in a row we won. I scored some goals, so I have a good feeling. So now it's about to be consistent again and yeah, continue that run, win games, score goals, and I hope we continue like that on Saturday. The mood was always good, I think, of course, when you lose games, it's always hard to be positive, but we all stick together and just worked hard every day. So now it's about performing, and Saturday is the next one to win.
Hello from Mumbai. We are here, aren't we, Jimmy, on the famous CFC World Tour in India.
Yes, of all the places, we are in beautiful India.
We are, and it has been incredible. Obviously, we've been here for a couple of days now, so what are your first impressions, or what have you made of the couple of days we've spent here so far?
First of all, the people have been absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful country, great food. We've seen a tournament today, what the Chelsea Foundation sponsored. It was nice to see the players, really a lot of passion, and also to meet, obviously, the fans.
They were queuing up just for Jimmy.
And for you. Come on, don't be shy, also for you. Come on. You're almost as famous as I am.
Not a chance. Not a chance. But it was a lovely day today, wasn't it? Just going down there and seeing them play football. And how much it meant to them as well.
Exactly, and it gave me a tear in my eye. You know, so far away from home. But they knew everything about Chelsea. They knew so much about me.
They knew every chant.
They were singing.
Chant.
They were singing.
Yeah.
We were dancing with them. Yeah, it was really great, you know, and that's why we are doing it, are we?
Exactly.
Because without the fans, who are we?
Yeah.
You know, that's what we are doing. That's why we are playing. That's what we want to see in the stadiums. And overseas as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big day for Graham Potter and Chelsea today. Obviously, we are here for a live fan screening of the game. Do you feel like Chelsea have now turned a corner? And if they can win these next couple of games at home, it could do a lot for this squad?
Yeah, it's not only a big day for Potter, but it's also for the players. It's also for the fans. Yeah, we have had a difficult time for different kind of reasons. But the last 3 matches, the results have been good. The performances have been getting better.
Yeah.
And hopefully today they can keep on going with that.
Yeah.
It is an important match. It is a match that, you know, we need to win to climb up the table. It is a match that we can win.
Yeah.
Obviously, Everton is a dangerous animal. You have to respect that.
Yeah.
But if Chelsea can at least get some of them plays that they have been doing so well against Leicester again, then I think we should win.
We know what Sean Dyche is going to come to Stamford Bridge and do. He is going to come with 10 men and sit behind the ball and try and hit Chelsea on the counter. So what sorts of players, or how do you expect Graham Potter to set up? Attacking sort of those players that can play between the lines, because it is going to be 2 banks of 4 there for Everton, isn't it?
When you're Chelsea, you need to attack always.
Especially at home.
You always need to attack, especially at home, as you said. You have to respect Everton. Yes, they're going to come with a game plan, and majority of the time that is sitting behind the ball and counter-attack. So you need to control the turnovers. If you control the turnovers and you keep them in their half and you suffocate them, you will get opportunities. If you can score an early goal, the game will open up majority of time.
Changes everything, doesn't it?
It changes everything. The mood changes. Everybody feels a little bit better. You know, you're playing then a little bit freer. You're taking more calculated risk. You know what? Before the 1-0, you're not taking. You're a little bit more afraid to make mistakes. So if Chelsea can start quick, get an early goal, I think they can grow really well into the game and score some more goals.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the big news this week was the Champions League draw. Real Madrid, out of all the teams, I'm not going to lie, of all the teams we could have got, Real Madrid were probably one of the ones I didn't want. But first of all, what are your thoughts about Chelsea drawing Real Madrid? What a tie that's going to be for the 3rd straight season in the Champions League. It's 1-1 now, isn't it?
Yeah. So great tie. You know, look, if you're going to want to win the Champions League, you'll have to beat the best. Yeah. It is 1-1, as you just said. It will be a test. We are not going to be the favourite. You know, because they're playing.
Champions of Europe.
They're champions of Europe, but they're also playing really well. But we have got all the chance. You know, it's a cup tie. Everything can happen. You have to believe. Did we want it, Real Madrid? No. But we've got them.
You have to beat, if you're going to win it, you have to beat the best.
Yeah, but you have to fancy yourself. You know, it's sports at the highest level, you know? And you can hear them, they're ready for it, they're up for it.
They absolutely are. But we can beat Real Madrid, can't we?
Of course, yes, we can. You know?
The atmosphere is building here, and as you can see, the fans are making so much noise.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
We've got Judith and Laura here, and they're from Total Communications. They do the sign language interpretation on the big screen on match days at Stamford Bridge. And there's a Cadbury's campaign called Signing with Fingers, and essentially it's all about getting the nation to learn more sign language.
It was a special night against Dortmund. For everybody, I think, connected with the club, fantastic atmosphere. So it gives us a chance to enjoy another wonderful game at Stamford Bridge. It is really excited. Obviously, we've got some important Premier League games beforehand that we need to focus on, but an incredible draw for us. Yeah, the mood's been really good, as you'd imagine. 3 wins in a week is positive. The boys have always been together. There's a spirit that's building, that's positive for us. And momentum is going in our way, but we've got a tough game at the weekend, so we need to make sure we focus on that and get ourselves ready for a tough match. Benji's back for the weekend. He's in the squad, which is fantastic news for everybody. Fantastic player. Obviously, we've missed him a lot with his injury, but it's great that he's back, and we're looking forward to seeing him on the pitch. We have to be careful with him because he's been away for a while, but nevertheless, delighted that he's back in the squad. Kai's in a really good place. He's recently had the rewards, I think, for his hard work, which has always been there. He's a real team player, gives everything for the team. Open-minded, wants to learn, wants to improve. He's a fantastic player to work with, and I'm delighted for him that he's contributed in terms of goals and assists and helping us win. Well, as I said, the fans have been incredibly fair to us. They've suffered as well because results haven't been what we want. But recently they've seen spirit and fight in the team and quality. And my job is to try and help the team and that connection with the supporters, because the most important thing is the supporters and the team. And I can only thank the supporters because they've been great to us. 4 wins would be really significant, I think. It gives us a chance to go into the break in a really positive mood. But we have to earn that. We can't think too much of the past. We have to really go into the game and understand we're playing against an opponent fighting for the points. But it's a very exciting game. Really looking forward to seeing all our supporters at Stamford Bridge and hopefully putting on a good performance and taking the 3 points. I think Sean Dyche's teams are always well organised, very, very competitive, real clarity in what they're doing, play to their strengths. Set pieces are very strong, but they attack well, high and low, pressure you with aggression, and as I say, attack with clarity. So always a tough competitor, always tough games, but we're looking forward to the challenge. We're in a good place ourselves, and we really want to take the challenge on.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome back to the gantry, folks. Sam has joined Jason and I. We've got about 8 minutes till kick-off. Teams will be in the tunnel soon, ready to see if the Blues can make it 4 in a row. Just hearing that from Graham Potter there. Sam, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It has been 5 months since Chelsea last won 3 games in a row. That's been a long old wait for a bit of momentum like this, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been needed. You know, we've really been in the grinding out those games, you know, the draws, the losses, and now we've got a little bit of a bounce, you know, that we can hopefully get the momentum from.
And Jay, in terms of the team use which we touched on earlier, it does seem to be, I know maybe you get the odd in and out like Badiashile, Kukurea, that sort of thing, but it does seem to be settling on something that is becoming more obvious despite that huge squad.
No, and I think it's been well documented. The squad is a problem. And he's almost said that now what he's got to do, he's got a squad of players. Now he's got to get them into a matchday squad, and that matchday squad has got to get into a team. And now it's about the formation. Eventually he's got there. I felt a 3 actually for a while was our best, because get your best players in the best formation. And even though Reece didn't play last week, the formation worked. Ruben fits in. He's done that many times, playing that right wing back. But then you get the best of Chile, who I thought was out. He's been brilliant, Chile. So what he's now got to do is stick to. I think to go back to a 4. I don't think we'll see that again this season, unless in game he wants to change things.
Yeah, the right pegs in the right holes. So, Sam, we've seen a lot of things. We've seen, Connor, Raheem Sterling sometimes being a wing-back, Pulisic sometimes being a wing-back, and then it's a 4, and then it's where am I now? And Connor playing 3 or 4 different positions in one game. You do feel like he's settling on something now, and to be fair, he was learning about his squad, and then he did get a whole load of new players, and what you want is a pre-season. What you want is 6 or 7 games to have a look at these people. Obviously, he's having to do it on the job, so to speak, when the points are up for grabs.
Yeah, it looks like he's found a good balance in the squad now. You mentioned, the defence and the midfield. He's had to learn on the go, but also he's starting to see people's strengths, their weaknesses as well. And I think now he's with the players coming back from injury as well, with Chilwell, James coming back, Kanté, he's going to be back in the fold. I think he's getting the right players at the right time, at the right moment of the season as well, because, it was getting, there was a lot of, fear of what's going to happen by the end of the season. But now, with the 3 at the back, there's a lot more balance, and it looks good.
I don't think you can afford to change it now, Ben. There's not enough time. He's found a formula, 3 wins on the bounce. Why would you change it?
Absolutely. Let's hope it's 4 in a couple of hours from now. The teams will be in the tunnel soon. Let's just have a little look before we get to the match action at the Wherever You Go wall. We've been asking you to tweet in where you're watching from with your messages on the virtual Wherever You Go wall, and they have been coming in, of course, with Trivago, and people watching all over the world, as you would expect. And remember, just another thought today is you'll be seeing the no to hate everywhere. This is the game for equality across planet Chelsea. And here you go, Benidorm. We are here, wherever that is. It looks beautiful. I'm saying Far East, and and Marzi Sampson says we're winning from Nigeria. Well, wherever you are.
Big up Nigeria.
3 points wherever you like. I think all of those places look warmer than here. Although I should just say, Stamford Bridge.
It's quite mild, Ben.
It's not actually. For the first time in a long time, is not bad.
Sam, let me tell you, you've chosen a very, very good game in recent weeks to be up here in the gantry, because the wind can bellow around the stadium here, even though
really?
the heat of the bodies. But I have to say, it's a mild one for you.
Yeah, no, it's been good. To be fair, I was pitch side earlier, and I did get sprinkled by the sprinklers.
Oh, okay,
so
right,
I'm literally drying at the moment, so it's good weather to do that.
So here we go then. Everton, who've just won again, having won to start with, you'll remember, under Sean Dyche. They beat Arsenal 1-0, a very Sean Dyche scoreline. Then actually they didn't win for a while. Now they've just won again, and they come out of the tunnel here led by Seamus Coleman. They are going to be wearing a fairly disgusting pink and black kit today. The Blues in blue coming out, led once again by captain Kovacic. 4th game in a row that it's been him and Enzo starting together in central midfield. That's got to be part of the reason why things are looking a little more solid. Although I would say the great N'Golo, just as a late reminder to anyone who wasn't with us earlier, is on the Chelsea bench today. Darren England is the referee. Chris Kavanagh on VAR, ready to infuriate and annoy us. There was plenty of that last weekend at Leicester, that's for sure. Fofana could have given away a penalty. Leicester could have had 2 red cards. Andre Mariner seemed to miss just about everything. Let's hope we aren't talking about the officials too much here. The players lining up: Damari Gray, Alex Iwobi, Ghana Gay, Dwight McNeil, player very well known to Sean Dyche, as is James Tarkowski, of course. We're expecting it to be attritional, Mr. Cundy.
Yeah, and look, they found a little bit of a rhythm themselves, haven't they, Everton? Sean Dyche, whatever you think about his style of play, whatever you think about